Just look, tonight's class, we have over 1,000 people. That's the power of copywriting. And I haven't even seriously marketed Dent On Demand. We haven't even started yet. By the end of this year, probably 10,000 students will have. That's the power of copy. Just think about that. That's the proof that why the written words are so powerful. And we have students, not just in, like I said, if not just North America, from all over the world, because of my ability to use the written words to communicate, to articulate a message. So imagine if you have that kind of power. How much more money could you make? How much more confidence would you have? How much more you could grow your business? Now, you notice Desmond and Ed and Stephen, Tina, they all call me Sifu. It is a Chinese term called Sifu. For those who know me, who knows that I have a martial art background. Now, with the term Sifu, I take this very, very seriously. I tell all my students, it's a very, very important word for me because I don't call someone a Sifu so easily. I have maybe a couple of Sifus in my whole life. And the word Sifu in Chinese term, the word Si actually means mentor. Fu actually means father figure. A teacher for a day, a teacher for a lifetime. This is for one day. Maybe you're learning from me. You're teaching you're taking copywriting secrets. You just want to learn this from me. That's perfectly fine. Or is this day one of our relationship? It's your choice. It's your choice. But what I want to say is, do not, please, do not call me Sifu unless you mean it. Don't call me Sifu because just everybody else calls me Sifu, or you see all these other students have impacted their lives, or social pressure. Don't do that. Call it because you mean it. It's perfectly okay to just call me Dan. There's nothing wrong with that. Does that make sense? Good. Now, for DoD, and same thing with HTC High Ticket Closer, every single program that I run, there are 3 rules. Who could tell me what are the 3 rules? No excuse. Yeah, the first one is no excuse. Because excuse is nothing more than a well-planned lie. You can make money or you can make excuses. In my life, I have never seen people who are good at both. You want to make money, just make money. And don't make excuses. So that's rule number 1, no excuses. Number 2 is no opinions. No opinions. I am not interested to hear your opinions. You want my income, I do not want your income. Until you get to my level, then I'm open to hear your opinions. Because I can tell you, broke people are very opinionated. Isn't it true? Think about your friends who are broke. They have an opinion about fucking everything. They have an opinion about the sports game they watch. They have an opinion about the movie they just watched. They have an opinion about politics. They have an opinion about the weather. They have an opinion about fucking everything. And they're fucking broke. They bitch. I call them the BMW, right? They bitch. They moan and they whine. So no opinion. Number 3, no victims. We don't complain, we don't bitch, we don't justify, we don't point fingers. I take this very seriously. I bet even after today, every time I teach a class, I fire students. Ask all my students, I fire students all the time. Unlike some other people, other fucking gurus, I take my community very seriously. And I do a lot to protect my students, my community, and my family. So if I see anyone that's bitching, moaning, breaking one of these rules, I will not hesitate to kick them out. I bet by the end of tonight, I'll be kicking a dozen people out. That's how I teach, and that's what I do. And when I kick people out, they don't come back. I don't do second chances. Every single one a student, I kick them out, I blacklist them, they don't come back. Meaning I will not allow them to join anything that I ever offer again. I don't have time for that. I only want people who are coachable, and I want people who are serious. So can we agree on that before I get started? Those 3 rules. No excuses, no opinions, and no victims. Yes? Good. Don't just agree. Got to follow through. You got to follow through. And for those who in the Discord, who you still have the damn icon, upload a fucking photo, please, so we can see who you are. So we can see who you are, what you look like. Don't hide behind a computer. And I want to acknowledge if you have uploaded an introduction video in, how many of you upload introduction video in the Facebook group? Great job. Great job. I've watched, I believe, almost every single one of the intro video because I like to get to know my students. And I know that you have different background, you have different stories and different struggles, different challenges, and different aspirations. People can't help you if they don't know you. For some of you, you've been operating like a lone wolf for a long time. You've been operating like a lone wolf for a long time. Just by yourself. Try to figure shit out. Don't want to ask for help. Because the fucking ego. Or don't know how to ask for help. Or don't want to look stupid. Don't want people to judge you. So you don't seek help. Even though you're not producing results, but you're not comfortable asking for help. People can't help you if they don't know you. They can't know you if they don't see your face. Think about that. So if you feel a little bit uncomfortable making that intro video, it's not about making the intro video. It's not about making an intro video. How you do anything is how you do everything. I want you to think a little bit deeper. Why is there such a fear to upload a video? And why do you operate like an observer your whole life, sitting on a sideline, not participate? To be invisible. So you're not seen, you're not heard. You know who you are. I don't need to point out who you are. You know who you are. Not really participating. Not fully committed. That is the fucking problem. That's what is exactly preventing you from going to the next level and become successful. The very act that you're a lone wolf, the very act you let your ego get in your way and not asking for help, that hesitation, the fear of judgment, exactly why you struggle. I have some people also, I can see DOD, new students. Oh, Dan, I don't use social media, I don't use Facebook. It's not about using Facebook. Let me tell you, I don't like Facebook either. I do not like Facebook either. But as a business, as an organization, today, if you're not using Facebook in some way, shape, or form to grow your business, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. I don't have to like Facebook to use Facebook. And I don't use Facebook for pleasure. I use Facebook for profit. Write this down. 97%, 3%. Write this down. 97%, 3%. 97% of the population are dead or dead broke by the age of 65. Only 3% succeed financially. Guess what? The 97% they use Facebook for pleasure, posting stupid shit on Facebook. I use Facebook, I use social media for profit. The 3% use social media for profit. They use social media to make money. Not posting pictures when you're fucking drunk. Is a mean to an end. You could definitely say, oh, I don't like Facebook. Good, you're fucking broke. You're broke. Simple. It's like people say, oh, money is not that important. Let me guess. You're broke. In fact, from now on, if you get nothing else out of tonight's class, let me make you some money right now. From now on, actually do this with me. Take two of your fingers, middle finger and the index finger, put it to your temple, put it to your forehead. Put it to your forehead. Go ahead, do that. Do that. So from now on, anyone who tells you, money doesn't buy you happiness, you take the two fingers, put it in your forehead, and you pretend to be a psychic. You say, I sense something here. I'm getting a message. You're broke. And they'll be like, fuck, how do you know? How the hell do you know? And then you could say, pay me $49, I'll teach you. I will fucking teach you. They have to be broke. Because their belief systems affects the behaviors, and the behaviors create results. Anyone who have negative association with money, you're broke. Anyone who have a negative association with closing, selling, you're broke. Period. 100% accuracy. Try next time. Anyone who complains, oh yeah, I would rather be happy than have money. Oh, shh. Let me think. You're broke. And they'll be shocked. 100%. 100% they will know. They're like, how the hell, man? How the hell do you know? It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. So let me tell a little bit of how I first learned copywriting. So I started and failed at 13 businesses at a very, very young age. At a time because I was so, you could say, I thought I knew what I was doing. So I was trying all these businesses and it came up with all these ideas. None of them worked. And I failed many, many times until I found my first mentor. His name is Alan Jacks. And Alan actually was speaking at my event just a few days ago. And so he was the very first mentor that I have. And it taught me copywriting. Now, at first, when he said, I'm going to teach you copywriting, I thought, what exactly is that? Does that mean like, I thought it's COPYRIGHT. I thought it's like trademark or intellectual property, like lawyer shit, right? He said, no. He said, that's not copywriting. Copywriting is turning words into money. Oh, I said, that's cool. So he was teaching me how to write copy and how this works. And at the time, and this is Sifu when I was younger with like my fucking glasses and spiky hair, right back then, when I was young, right? With my pimple on the forehead, right? So back then, when I had no money, when I was broke, and it taught me copywriting and how this works, which I'm going to pass on some of those lessons to you. But what is so powerful throughout that process is that's my very first, what I call high income skill. How many of you are familiar with my wealth triangle? Put in the chat, the wealth triangle that I teach. Okay, so the wealth triangle, which the very first step is high income skill. And then the second part is scalable business. And the third part is high return investments. So with high income skills, that's my very first high income skill as a copywriter. So I worked for Alan for a year, basically for next to nothing. But I always refer that year as the $1 million year of my life, because that year of working with him, learning from him, I got $1 million year worth education from him. So, And most importantly, through copywriting, write this down, it taught me how to think. It taught me how to think about marketing, sales, human psychology, because you cannot be a copywriter if you don't understand human psychology. So it gave me a very strong foundation. In the future, whatever I do, I always have this particular skill set. So I'm not just a copywriter. I have copywriting skill. I'm not just a public speaker. I have public speaking skill. Does that make sense? Yes. So I want you to think about that. It's about developing your skill sets. So from that, this guy that you see to where I am today. Running a global organization. What changed? What transformed me from that young guy to the damn log that's standing in front of you today? My skills. My skill sets. Of course, I've got Jenny. For those who know Jenny, have watched some of my YouTube videos, Alpha Man Smart Woman. She's my best friend, my wife, who is also my business partner. Beautiful. Like it's she's just not just beautiful on the inside, outside, just a wonderful, wonderful. I always tell people I would not be where I'm today without Jenny, period. I would not be as successful. I would not probably be 1/10 as successful. As I always say, behind every successful man, there's a smarter woman. It's very, very true. In my case, it's very, very true. Very true. So what transformed my life? I devoted myself to developing multiple high-income skills. Multiple high-income skills. And copywriting is one of them. It is one of them. Now, you may be thinking, but, Sifu Dan, I'm not good at writing. How many are saying some of these things to yourself right now? Be honest. Or I don't even know what copywriting is. Or, I'm not like you, or my English is not my first language, right? My English is not that good. This is me in high school, prom night. During the prom night, I had no date. This was my high school teacher. Going through high school when I first immigrated to Canada, I was what I call myself the invisible kid. I was the kid who would sit in the very back of the classroom, never put on my hand, never participate, don't want to be seen, don't want to be heard. I had no friends. First of all, because I had no confidence, and I was getting picked on, I was getting bullied. Because when I was going to school in Vancouver, in Surrey, it's like the hood in Vancouver, by the way, I was one of the only 3 Chinese in my school. Was getting beat up every damn fucking week. Bully. Push around. So I don't want to be seen. And English is not my first language. I had to learn it from scratch. So prom night, I had no one, what girls would, they don't even, I would go through a few semesters with like people, they wouldn't even remember my name. They wouldn't remember my name. And every time I had to, after school, I was learning, you know what, if I walk through the main hall, I would get beat up. So I go through the back door. Either I leave a little bit early, pretend to go to the washroom, or leave late. So I don't get beat up. So what does that tell you? Every skill that I have, I fucking learn it and hone it and master it. No one gave that to me. Anyone can learn it. So if you're saying I'm not good at writing, I wasn't good at writing. I don't even know what copywriting is. I didn't know what copywriting is. I'm not like you. Believe me, you were not like me. You're probably a lot better off than me. Right? My English is not good. Who cares? My English sucks. I flung English twice when I was in high school. Twice. So whatever I develop, whatever I could learn, I know for certain, if you want it bad enough, you can learn it too. You can absolutely learn it too. I'm rich today, not because of my money. Write this down. I'm rich because of my skills. I am rich today, not because of my money. I'm rich because of my skills. How many have heard news people where 2/3 of people who win the lottery, after 5 years, they're actually worse off financially? How many have read news like that before? Why is that? Let me ask you, why is that? Put in the chat. I'll see if you get it. They spend it all. They blow the money, yes. No skills, yes. Because they got that money by accident, by luck, not by design, not through their own skills. So money, they just have suddenly a big lump sum of money dump onto their lap, and they lose it very quickly. Because although they have money, they are still living, thinking, operating, acting like a poor person. They're still operating like a 97%. You with me? So money doesn't make you rich. Skill does. Skill does. Knock on wood, if I lose everything tomorrow, I have absolutely no doubt I could make it all back and more. Because I made my money by design, not by default. See, that's true financial confidence. Write this down. That's true financial confidence. Knowing that you could lose it, but it doesn't bother you because you know you can make it back. It's not about a job security, which is fucking illusion. How many recognize that job security is an illusion? How many have been laid off in the past? What about investments? How many of you have made investments, maybe the stock market, maybe cryptocurrency, and you thought you're making money and suddenly you lose a whole bunch of money, or maybe you're not losing it all? Mm-hmm. So investment or a job, all this bullshit, that's not the answer. You know that's not the answer. True financial security comes from your financial confidence. It's not about vehicle. It's not about a certain, secret investment that nobody knows. Fuck that shit. It's about your skills. And the problem is, poor people want to have money without skills. That's why they struggle their whole lives. It's like you try to win, let's say you play basketball, you try to win, tournament and championship with no skills. And they bitch, how come I don't win? Because you suck. That's why. You got no skills. You don't know how to dunk the ball. You don't know how to pass the ball. You don't know how to steal the ball, right? You don't know how to shoot. What the fuck do you know? Of course you don't win. You don't have a money problem. If you're not making enough money, you don't have a money problem. You have a skill problem. You getting this? You're not making enough money? Don't feel, how come I don't make? Because you have no fucking skills, or your skills are not good enough. Because you've got skills, let me tell you this, the marketplace will always reward, compensate people who are highly skilled, especially when it comes to high income skills. Because the marketplace is hungry. hungry for people who've got skills. When you have skills, people line up to give you money. It's not lack of money. There's no lack of money. There's a lack of people who have skills. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, I want to ask you a question. What do these people have in common? What do these people have in common? Tim Ferriss, Hugh Hefner, which is the founder of Playboy, David Ogilvy, Russell Brunson, Jay Abraham. You may know some of these people, you may not know some of these people. Take a guess. What do they have in common? Math skills, yes. They're wealthy, yes. You're getting it. You're getting it. They dream big, yes. Aha, you got it. They are copywriters. One way or the other, either they started off or somewhere in their career, they're all copywriters. Now that should tell you something, shouldn't it? That should tell you something, shouldn't it? So first of all, let's define what exactly is copywriting, because I can't teach you the secrets without knowing what copywriting is, right? So what exactly is copywriting? It's not what you think. Copywriting, write this down, it is not about writing. Copywriting is not about writing. Copywriting, this is not the only definition, but this is my definition, is closing in print. I'll say that one more time. Let that sink in a bit. Copywriting is closing in print. It is closing. Everything is closing. When you write that video script, when you make that video, that's closing. When you conduct a webinar, that's closing. When you're selling one-on-one, that's closing. When you're selling one-to-many on stage, that's closing. When you're writing an ad, that is closing. So copywriting is closing in print. The other way to look at this, let me help you out. How many of you are introverts? Put in the chat. How many of you are introverts? Wow, we have a lot of introverts. Cool. Think of copywriting as closing for introverts. Aha. You getting this? Think about that, because you're not talking to people one-on-one. Maybe you're a little bit shy to talk to people one-on-one, or you talk to a group of people, but writing, using the words. Closing in print. Now, if it's closing in print, so it's not about writing, isn't it? It's about closing. It is about closing. With that said, we won't be covering any boring copywriting tips. You can find them anywhere. I'm not going to talk about how to write, high PE, clickbait headlines. We're not going to talk about features and benefits. I'm not going to talk about 30-day money back guarantee. Tonight, I'm only going to be covering advanced copywriting secrets. Now, if you're new to the whole new copywriting concept, you need to review this multiple times, because a lot of the concepts and ideas and secrets that I'll be sharing with you, at first, you won't get it. You just won't. You'll be like, huh? You'll be overwhelmed. You'll be confused. It is normal. It is very, very normal. So if you feel confused during tonight, if you feel overwhelmed, it is just knowing it's okay. And all my students know, right? When you feel confused, when you get frustrated, when you're overwhelmed, you celebrate it. What do you do? You celebrate it. It means you are learning. It means you're growing. You didn't come here to learn what you already know. You came to learn what you don't know. Whenever you learn something you don't know, it is natural to get confused. Does that make sense? Good. Copywriting secret number 1. Call out your audience. Call out your audience. Who exactly is your audience? Who are they? What can you do? So imagine this. Imagine seeing your friend in a crowd. Let's say you're walking down the street, you see one of your best friends. How would you get the attention? How would you get the attention? Tell me. What would you yell out? Their name, yes. You yell their name. Hey, John. Hey, Michelle. Right? You get it. So that's you calling out their name. So they would turn around and say, oh, yeah, hey, man, how's it going? Now, incorporating, if you can do that, that's a very powerful thing to do. Example, through email, right? When you can customize, and there's so many softwares nowadays that can do that, autoresponders, where you send out the first name, right? Addressing to them personally. Call your audience. Or what if you might say, well, but Sifu, how do we know if we are doing marketing, we are speaking to a broader audience? How do we call out our audience? Instead of calling one person by their first name, you can call out a group of people. Let me give you a perfect example. Apple. This is one of Apple's very, very successful ad. And you notice, this is not talking about the computer. It's not talking about technology. It's talking to a very specific group of people, calling out their ideal audience. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers. And they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them because they change things. They push the human race forward. It's about identifying who is their ideal client. It's not about, hey, look at my greatest, super duper latest computer. No, it's all about, this is who we serve. This is who our ideal customer are. So think about in your marketing, who do you sell to? Now you might be thinking, well, but Sifu, I'm selling to everybody. Well, if you're selling to everybody, you're selling to nobody. You have to be very clear who exactly is your audience. So give me an example, put in the chat. If you were to call out, attention blank, who would be your audience? Let's see if you get this. Put it in chat. Good. Attorneys? Good. Influencers? That's good.
Sifu Desmond here. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Just to let you know, we've already banned a couple of bad apples already, as you predicted.
Very good. Keep banning. I love it. Television producer, very, very good. Media celebrities, very, very good. Parents, good. Yes. Farmers, winners, yes. Restaurant owners, martial artists, perfect. Because the minute you do that, it's, hey, this is me. This is awesome, right? Stephen, anything you want to add? Or add? Jumped in? Anytime.
Yes, I mean, this is great. I see a lot of people, we're saying all sorts of categories. Home buyers, pet owners, restaurant owners, this is great. And if we want to get, here's a small tip. The more specific that we can get, the better. So let's use that restaurant owner as an example, right? If you are targeting, say, restaurant owners in a specific area, right, who have been in business for a certain amount of time, that's even better. The more specific you can get, the better. I mean, for example, right, let's say that me personally, I'm an Asian dude and I'm looking for a personal trainer. If I open 10 websites and I look at 10 personal trainers to choose from, all of them are saying, hey, look, attention, person who wants to lose weight, great. But if someone said, attention, Asian guy, between over the age of 25, under the age of 35, who's looking to lose weight, I'm talking to you specifically. Yes. Well, guess who's going to get my attention?
Correct. Correct. Ed?
There we go. Okay, I saw some very specific examples. Guys under 5'8", that's hilarious. Anyways, the more specific you can get, the better.
Mm-hmm. Ed, anything you want to add?
Stephen covered it all for now.
Okay. So now it doesn't mean you got to put that in the headline. You can have it to say, attention restaurant owners.
But then after the headline, in the body copy or the opening paragraph, you can then be more specific. You can be more precise. You can describe the problems. Hypothetically, let's say you say, attention restaurant owners. You know, if you are experiencing problem A, B, and C, and D, right? Or are you sick and tired of A, B, C, and D? Describe their problems. Because the minute you can describe the problems, it builds tremendous trust. Why is that? Tell me, put in the chat. Why is that? That's correct. You understand them. You are just like them. You know what they're going through. Let me teach you something very profound. People buy not because they understand what you sell. People buy because they feel understood. I'll say that one more time. People buy not because they understand what you sell. People buy because they feel understood. When they feel understood, oh, you know exactly what I'm going through. You know what my problem is. You know what my challenge is. Okay. Now they're much more open to listen to what you have to offer, right? Now they're more open to listen to what solution that you have. It's very, very powerful. But most people, they don't take enough time to understand their audience. Exactly who is the ideal client? And what are they like? What are their pain points? What are their frustrations? How can your product and service help them overcome some of those issues? So that's secret number one. Call out your audience.